Okay, today I'm going to talk with Christian Davis from Miamisburg High School, a running back at Miamisburg High School. A good friend of mine is the head coach, and he's done a great job so far. Christian is a running back, 5'10", at least, and then 192 pounds. Christian, how are you?
I've been doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm always good, man. I'm 72 years old. Anyway, let's talk about football first, and then a little bit, and we jump back and forth. You're a running back. First of all, what's the best thing about football?
My favorite thing, honestly, is coming out of the tunnel and seeing the hundreds or thousands of fans just on each side of the stadium. And then for about 10, 15 seconds, everything just goes quiet. And you just get in that mental state and that it's like ultra focus. I just like that mental state of mind because nothing can affect me. Nothing is gonna bother me. Nothing will get to my head. I'm just focused on what I have to do to win this game and help my teammates succeed.
Well, that's really good. I've been to your stadium, your new stadium. That seats quite a few people now. But it's good. What is the toughest thing about football? What may you not like about football right now?
The toughest thing, I guess, is letting down your teammates, making a mistake that like there's no excuse for, like
Okay.
getting a play or something.
Yeah, and then that's got to forget that right now and go on to the next play, right? Well, that's for sure. Okay, you're running track too. You're running the sprints in the 4x1. Hopefully, you're the anchor on the 4x1. Either that or first.
I'm the anchor, yeah.
Okay, because then there's nothing like coming down that straightaway, man. I'm an old track coach. I told you earlier. I think that getting that baton and just flying down that backside or in front of the stadium. What's different with track? I like track guys playing football guys playing track. All other sports are really good. Basketball for linemen. But what's good? What's nice about track for you? What do you like about it?
I like the mental perseverance you have to have. Like on the 200, for instance, that's my longest sprint. That last 70 meters, that's just like if you got it, like push yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else to do but just go faster than the next guy.
It's good. It's good. And then that last 70 meters, as you get stronger at the end of May, that 70 meters will be shorter and shorter. I mean, you're not going to hit the wall real early.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. As we talk sports, then, who has been in your life in general? Who has been kind of an influence on you? Who has kind of guided you a little bit? Do you have anybody in particular?
Well, first and foremost, I have to say my mom. She was like a D1 prospect in softball when she was in high school, but because of complications, she didn't go anywhere. So she's very tough on me, and she's always been the one who's like kept me out of trouble and kept my head on straight and keep me doing what I got to do and always working hard. So that'd probably be the main influence from my sports career.
Okay, now you tell her sometime that high school softball has progressed more than any other sport.
All right,
you could tell her that because I'll say that on the air on the podcast because I used to play fast pitch softball. And, I mean, seriously, and then boy, it's tough. Young girls are so tough now. Okay, with that being said, what do you have anybody that you kind of not role model, but you kind of pattern yourself after? You're a running back, and I've watched you run on the video. And anybody you pattern yourself after? College or high school, pro? And it's okay if you don't.
I mean, I don't really like study anyone's tape and be like, okay, I need to do this or that. I kind of have a mix of things. I like a lot of the things that Saquon Barkley does and Christian McCaffrey as well in the receiving game, even Alvin Kamara. So I guess those three would probably be the biggest examples, just because I think I'm
Well,
receiving back just as much as a downhill runner. So
kind of doing your own thing and not get caught up in role models too much.
mhm.
I think that's huge. But I will tell you, what do you think your strengths are, first of all? Let's make it, because I think you're a true running back.
Mhm.
Sometimes you look at high school running backs and they're going to be defensive guys.
Mhm.
They're going to switch them eventually. But to me, you're a true running back. So what are your strengths?
Well, I think the biggest strength of mine is, like you said, I feel like I'm a four down back and I could be put in almost any offense and not necessarily like my what's it called? My influence in the game won't drop because of a different offense. I feel like if it's a power offense, I can run the rock. If it's a receiving offense, I can catch passes on screens and go to the slot. So that's probably my biggest strength. And then second, I feel like I'm a hard runner. I don't like, as the game progresses, I still run with the same intensity as the first and the second quarter. So those are probably the two biggest.
That's good. Here's what else I would tell you. You're a hard runner, and your vision, you haven't talked about vision. If you watch yourself on video, you look for the holes to open.
Mhm.
You don't just run ahead and run up some lineman's behind or something like that. And you take your time. Now, that's the mark of a really good runner, by the way. And you have the quickness to get up inside, to get up. And then the other thing, if you watch, you have vision's really huge to you because you can make cuts and things like that. You see, like a couple times you look inside and you've got the quickness to go outside.
Mhm.
And now I would tell you this: don't try to go outside first all the time because you're not great speed, but you do. I mean, I think you do a really, really good job. You should be running inside. That's where the good ones run. And then if that's closed down, then you break it. And tough on linebackers. I think those are strengths of yours. And like I told you before, my goodness, if you're getting close to 5'11", your size is going to be good. You do catch the ball out of the backfield too, long and short. And that to me that shows concentration. Okay. Now, what are some of the things you have to work on?
I mean, you said yourself. I feel like one of the biggest things is my speed. I'm not necessarily a slow guy, but I'm not necessarily like a 4.3 runner either. So just speed and quickness, that I'll always be working on that. I'll never get comfortable with that. And then the other thing is probably my agility and other like moves to break down a defender, like juke moves, spin moves, things like that. I have to put more of that into my games.
Man, you got yourself figured out.
Well,
Christian, you've got yourself, somebody's analyzed you pretty well because I think exactly that. Now, what you do is you have good speed, you have initial quickness, and you need the fifth gear. And you may not ever get the fifth gear, but sometimes those guys that do that have the fifth gear. They don't get it, they don't break tackles. And you do that. And that's just keep working. But you are a Cincinnati runner, you're an Iowa State runner. A lot of those guys, and very few guys really have fifth gear. Guys have talked about it, but they don't. And what you have is that initial explosion and balance. And I think that's really good. The other thing I would tell you is you look for the opening, but also learn to run. I don't know if coaches teach you this. Learn to run with that ball on the opposite arm, because I still believe you switch arms. Now some guys don't, but you just run with the ball on your run. But I think you've got, because if you can get that ball on the outside, when that guy hits you, he's going to hit you first before the ball. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just something to think about. Let's get away from football. Okay, I ask you three crazy questions. Here's the first one. What do you do when you're totally alone? Don't hang out with friends. Don't lift weights. Don't play football. Don't run track. What do you do when you're totally alone? Something we need to know about you. What would you do?
You said I can't lift weights?
No, you can't lift weights, man.
I probably play video games.
Okay. Just relax and play video games. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's talk about you. So far, you're only going to be a senior or junior. What has there been any top sports moments for you yet? Something that going into your junior year you'll always remember?
My top sports moment, I have two, so I'll just say the first one.
Sure, both of them.
Okay, so in 6th grade, we were losing to the defending championship like winners in our league, and then like coming out of halftime, we were down 14-0. We actually came back and we won 16-0, and I had an 88-yard punt return touchdown to put us up from 8-16, and we beat them by 2.
That's really good.
And
What's the other one?
Freshman year, my first ever touchdown was an 81-yard wheel pass, which gave us like momentum. We scored that, then we stopped them, and then we scored again and won the game.
So you ran a wheel route?
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, my guy like hesitated, so I just went up the sideline. He threw it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I'm sure you're going to have a few more. If I talk to you next year, you'll have a few more things to talk about. If you could trade places with somebody for one day, my second silly question, one day, who would it be? Anybody, your choice.
I don't know.
Okay. We can think about it and come back to it. Okay. Okay. We talked about you as a football player and track guy. What would you tell a freshman, Christian? What would you tell a freshman football player? You know, it's that first week in August, and what do you tell him? And he's a freshman. So what do you tell him?
I would tell him to keep working. That's the only thing. Like, if you have something you believe in, to keep working, because there's going to be people that say, you know, you can't do this. You should have better career options. Think of something else to do. But if you have something you want to do, you can do it if you keep working. That's
good. What annoys you then, in general? What's something that it doesn't make you mad? What annoys you? What's something that annoys you?
People who claim to be realistic, but they're just hating. In all honesty, I can't stand people like that.
They're not honest?
No, they people who claim that they're realistic, like they're realistic, but they're just hating. You know what I'm saying? I've had multiple people say that like a realistic career choice isn't playing college football, but I mean it is for me now, and it always has been a dream of mine. So like it's just like you're just hating. You're not being realistic at all.
Well, that's really good. And I hate to tell you this, but the better you get, the more that'll happen.
Yeah.
The more guys that'll be jealous. Now, those are the same guys that'll be on the sidelines ripping you. And I'm not being negative here, but it's fun. And they never played a drop. They've never played it down. But they're going to tell you what's going on, man.
I know.
But you get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to that. And even in the pros, it's crazy how they treat athletes and stuff, things like that. Okay. We talked about that with a freshman, work hard. Did you letter as a freshman?
Yeah, I started varsity as a freshman.
You did as a freshman? Okay, did you run the ball quite a bit, or you were just getting into it a little bit?
They had, I was kind of like a 50-50 split with running and receiving. So
Okay. Let's talk about which biggest strength as a player we talked about. Here's my last silly question. What talent would you like to have, you don't have, and you probably never will have?
I wish I could sing and dance.
Good. But you don't think you can?
No.
Even with some work. Okay.
No.
Now let's go back to the silly. Okay, super. Let's go back to the other question then. Anybody you trade places with for one day?
Probably like, I don't know, some big NFL guy, maybe Christian McCaffrey. Just see what the stuff he does, how he trains, or Derrick Henry, how they train, and then translate that to myself.
That's good. That's really good. Okay, let's talk recruiting just a little bit. You've gotten some few offers. That's got your name out there. What do you think about recruiting so far, Christian? In your young career, what do you think so far?
I think it's a long process, but I think that if you stay patient, like good things will happen. But you have to keep up with everything, like your grades and attendance and staying out of trouble.
How are your grades?
They're good right now. I have pretty much all A's and B's.
Your mom probably is responsible for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then tell me, you being only a junior, you've got, let's just say you've got a Cincinnati offer, right? What, any offers up and around that after that? Any other offers that jump out? Give me two.
Like two, like I want, or like
no, about Cincinnati, about around a Cincinnati offer.
Oh, like school equivalents?
Right.
Probably Pitt and
Okay.
maybe Iowa State or Tennessee.
I think it's important that with you, so people know just what level you are at now. Okay. And now, how do you plan? I'm going to go a little over 15 minutes here, but how do you plan to approach recruiting? You're young, it's going to be tough, but how do you plan to approach recruiting? You kind of said it earlier.
I've just been trying to stay positive and not give up on any schools that like are dream schools of mine or anything like that. Just stay positive and keep doing what I have to do. So I don't have anything on the school side or personal side doesn't get in the way. And so it's just all those are checked off, and the only thing I have to worry about is my football game.
That's really good. That's super. And then the last question. We've kind of talked about it, but I think it's important. Why would I recruit you? I've done this for a long time, and I understand it. Why would I recruit you? Just give me one reason.
I feel like I'm the hardest worker that you'll get because I'm not going to be satisfied until I'm the best. Okay. Well, Christian, you've done a really good job in this interview, and I appreciate you taking the time. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Well.